So, good morning, yogis. Good morning. So, we will once again explore the fifth limb, Pratyahara. So, as we've been going along the 8-limb path of Patanjali, we have moved from the moral codes to the physical practice of asana and pranayama to now more inward driven concepts like pratyahara, or the idea of sense withdrawal. So okay. So the senses, all of our senses organs, can be very distracting to the mind. It engages the mind, that judging, comparing mind, and that's considered one of the hindrances to our kind of realization and that basically peace. So as we practice these other limbs of yoga, we start to focus our attention inward. Those distractions of the physical realm draw us away from ourselves. So we focus on withdrawing from those senses to come inward toward ourselves, to closer toward our true self. And so you can think of that as drawing your attention toward your heart or toward your spine, where the 3 primary nadis run, those energy channels, our chakras. So, however you'd like to think of it, but we're drawing our attention inward. And we're going to do that through three distinct practices today. The one, the pranayama, will you do our buzzing bee pranayama. Then 2, in our physical practice, we will try to separate ourselves from maybe the mind, kind of complaining, or the body complaining in the postures, and return to the breath, return to that true self. And then thirdly, in shavasana, through a guided meditation, we will call attention to the sense organs and the various parts of the body and try to once again create some separation from that and come into that true self, or that place of just being, of pure being. All right, so those will be our 3 ways to explore Pratyahara today. So I will go back onto my mat and we will come to a comfortable seat. Now that comfortable seat can be on the earth or in a chair. So that's up to you. I think I'm going to come into Virasana for myself. There's someone coming in late, so I'll just let someone else in. Here we go. Okay, so find a comfortable seat. You can really draw your flesh away from the sits bones so you can connect deeply to the earth. Give a little tone to the belly, lengthen through the crown of the head. Just avoid slouching. That's essentially what we're trying to do here. Good. And it might be helpful to bring your shoulders up, back, and down. Just maybe a couple times up, back, and down. And inhale here, coming to your natural breath. In fact, even close your eyes. Notice how you're feeling in your physical body today, so that you can adjust the practice, adjust your seat. Notice your mind state. When the mind is busy and always attracted to thoughts, the to-do list, the senses, those are called the vrittis of the mind. Yoga ceases the fluctuations of the mind. Yoga's chitta vritti nirodha. And then come to your breath. Notice the breath today. Let's just do a few movements with our neck to just relieve any tension in the upper body before we come to our pranayama exercise. So inhale, and then on an exhale, bring a chin toward your chest, bring it up and over the right collarbone and look over your right shoulder, and then follow the arc of the right collarbone through the midline over the left, and look up and down like that a few times, finding this rotation of your neck. Going at your own pace in synchronicity with your breath. And after you've gone to both sides equally, and your chin returns to the midline, pause there. And then see if you can lift your chin towards the sky. You lift your gaze, but lead with the chin to keep the neck long. Get some extension in your neck. One more time, bringing chin down to your chest to a flexion. And inhale up towards the sky to extension, and then come back to neutral. And then one more round of shoulder rolls. If you went back before, maybe you can go forward this time. Maybe you do once in each direction. And then this next time, bring your shoulders up toward your ears, squeeze them in, squeeze, 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 and then go, drop them down. And 2 more times like that. Inhale, squeeze it up, get tight, even make fists. And then exhale. One more time. And then see if you can get a little longer in the spine, create length in the neck. And so our Brahmari breath, also called buzzing bee breath, where we make a hum on our exhale. And you could explore as you go along with this posture, the pitch of the hum, the volume of the hum. It's up to you. See what works in your body. And know that this breath, like most pranayama, is through the nose, but you can keep your jaw parted a little bit, your teeth parted. Maybe the tongue might rest behind the teeth or up on the roof of the mouth. The lips could even be parted a little bit or together. If they're together, you might feel a little vibration in the lips. It might be a little tickly, but notice that and just notice the vibrations. Now we'll do it first for 6 rounds, at kind of a low to medium pitch. You'll inhale fully, exhale with a and we'll do that 6 times. Then we'll continue 2 or 3 more times, depending on the length of your breath, silently. So you'll inhale, and then you'll exhale, kind of hearing that hum in your head, all right? So it'll be a total of 8 or 9 rounds, 6 aloud, and then 2 to 3 silently. So get comfortable. So our Brahmari buzzing bee breath, inhaling here. So keep going and endeavor to keep your exhale longer than the inhale. And then you're probably about 1 more aloud. Now do it 2 or 3 more times silently to yourself. And notice how that felt. Notice if you felt the vibrations in your head, on your lips, your teeth, your tongue. Notice how it felt in your mind. Were you able to focus on that breath and avoid thinking about what's to come, what you might have to do later, what you'll have for breakfast, all those things, those places where our mind goes. And this breath is said to be helping you to draw your attention inward, to withdraw from the senses, to calm the nervous system, might be good for anxiety, even depression. So consider this practice if you're feeling some benefits. Sometimes it's interesting to even try something for a period of time, for a week or two, commit to trying this practice and see if you find it useful. All right, and so now we'll try it again, but we'll try it with a hand mudra, and it's called Shanmukhi mudra, or the 6-gate seal. So we'll block the gates to our senses with our hands. And as you take this, if it starts to feel uncomfortable to you, closing up your face, there's another alternative. Actually, I will show that first. We use our thumbs to close the little windows to our ears, those little flaps on our ears, and the fingers could just rest on the skull. So that's one variation if you don't like to have your hands over your face. But the traditional way this mudra is practiced is the thumbs are on those little flaps of the ears, the pinkies are below the lips, the ring fingers are above the lips, the middle fingers close the nostrils. Right, just close them, not all the way, just kind of close them a little bit. And then the pointer fingers just gently close the eyelids and rest on the eyelids. Be careful with the eyes too. So try one of these variations, just the windows of the ears closing and the fingers on the head, or the full Shanmukhi mudra, the 6-gate seal. And then let's try another round of 6 aloud. So inhaling through your nose, exhale, extend the exhale with a hum. And after your 6th round, you can move your hands to the variation or bring them to your lap and repeat the breath 2 or 3 more times silently. Notice the effects of buzzing bee breath, Brahmari pranayama. All right, so now let's move into some asana. And we'll start with the child's pose. So let me just make one comment about modification. So if your knees are feeling uncomfortable today and you've taken the Brahmari breath in a chair, know that you can do much of the standing postures with the support of a chair. So as we go into our child's pose, a wide-legged child's pose, if that doesn't feel comfortable for you, you can keep your hips lifted and kind of come into a puppy variation. You can be here. Or you can come to standing and do your child's pose over a chair, over the seat or the back of the chair. As we move to the side, you can kind of do that on the edge of the chair. Just maybe having that inside arm go a little bit farther forward. You can come into our kind of variation of cat-cow on your chair, sort of like an upward-facing dog and a downward-facing dog. You can do your down dog on the chair. You can do your lunges on the chair. Your side angle or your side lunges on the chair. So if the knees are tender, feel free to use your chair or of course your blocks to modify. Okay. And so I am going to come onto the earth. I'll show modifications as we go. So find your variation of child's pose. And again, always honoring the knees, whether you need to fold over a chair or just elevate the hips a little bit, even putting something behind the backs of the knees. Settle into the body. Ground the hands. Maybe see if you can get your forehead to connect to the earth or something. Activating the third eye, that seat of our intuition as we practice coming inward, withdrawing from the senses, creating the separation from the external world. Take a big inhale, and then on an exhale, walk your hands over to the right, as far to the right as they can go, taking a side stretch. And breathing here. Maybe even reach your right arm a little farther forward. Your left arm a little farther forward than the right. So you're feeling a deep stretch on the left side. Breathe into the left side body. Take another breath, big inhale, exhale, sinking a little deeper. And then draw your right hand back so it's on the earth. I'm going to show it this way so you can see. So it's on the earth right under your shoulder, and then press your hand into the earth and start to rotate to the right. So we're getting a little bit of a rotation as well as a side bend. Good. Take another breath or two here. And then come back to center into your child's pose. Noticing how that felt. Maybe you're noticing a fuller breath. You can go deeper into your child's pose. Getting a nice stretch in the low back, in the low buttocks. And then walk your hands over to your left. As far over as you can go, keeping the hips grounded. And then reach the right arm a little forward of the left so that you deepen that stretch on the right side. Maybe under the armpit, through the side body. Breathe into the right rib cage. And then bend the left elbow, draw the hand back so it's right under your shoulder, hand grounding to the earth, elbow to sky. And then use the leverage of the hand on the earth to rotate your torso to the left. You can keep your head on the earth or your arm, or you can have it lifted. Just do what feels comfortable for you today. Take one more breath, big inhale, complete exhale, walk back to center and surrender back into your child's pose. So we'll do several forward folds today because forward folds as a class of poses draw your attention inward. You're folding into yourself. into that true self. And often I call this pose wisdom pose, seed pose. All right, so now let's come into a variation of cat-cow. You can keep your legs wide if you're in a wide-legged child's pose, or you can bring them back to neutral. You can do this, again, on a chair or your blocks, you know, if you're even in an awkward chair posture. But we'll come forward, drop the hips, lift the heart, looping the shoulders down the back, even lifting the heels towards the buttocks if you want, sort of an upward facing dog. And then exhale, round the spine as you go back, chin to chest, and then come back into a cat back. Now you can go all the way back to your extended child as well. So, you know, do, you know, your cat-cow, keeping it a little bit more, with your shoulders over your hands and your knees under your hips, or you can go forward into a little bit of a deeper expression, almost like I said, that upward facing dog, and rolling over the knees. And so, whatever variation you're in, even if you're doing it off of a chair, just find a nice extension of the spine. Breathe up into the upper lungs or under your collarbones. Feel some flexion as you round the spine, bringing chin to chest and fold forward. So just take a few more rounds like that. And exhale. Last time. And exhale. Good. And notice how that felt. Stay in your child's pose for one more breath cycle. And then start to transition into a puppy pose. So if your legs are apart, you're going to bring them together. If you're using your chair, you can always take more of a, kind of like your extended, your down dog pose. Puppy pose is where we keep our knees, our hips over our knees. We extend our arms forward. You can be on your forearms. You could extend them forward all the way and melt your heart to the earth. Just take a few breaths here. Good. Now you can stay here in any variation of this puppy on a hatha asana, or you can develop it into a down dog by grounding the hands, curling the toes under, sending your hips back towards your heels, and then sending the hips to the sky, keeping the knees soft to protect the hamstring, or pedaling your feet out to warm up the legs. Up to you. Keep your hands grounded and press the hands into the earth as you send the hips back to the sky, head between the arms. So you're getting nice length in the torso. You could shake your head yes or no, get some movement in the neck again without the burden of gravity. You can see if you can engage the front and backs of your legs and bring your legs towards straighter. Take 2 more breath cycles. Big inhale. Exhale it out. Last one. Let's try a Brahmari breath. Inhale here and exhale. And then let's look up toward our hands and walk our feet to our hands, or you can walk your hands to your feet. Up to you. Come back to a standing forward fold. Pausing here for a moment. Rise up halfway, lifting your torso in line with your hips. Get long through the torso. Exhale, go back into your fold, and then bend your knees till your belly's on your thighs. Lift your chest, lift your arms out to the sides. Rise all the way up to standing, arms overhead, coming into prayer, and then pull the prayer down to your heart for your Tadasana. All right. Okay, so now let's prepare for some standing poses. We will do kind of a series of warrior 1 postures. So you have your blocks handy just in case. Have the chair, if you'd like to use the chair as a prop, up to you. And we'll start with our Utkatasana, the awkward chair pose, and we'll do Brahmari breath again in the posture. So you'll inhale normally, keeping it a little shorter than the exhale, extend that exhale with the breath, and we'll do it, let's say at least 3 rounds for starters and see how that goes. All right, so coming to the top of the mat, that short side of the mat, have your blocks handy and find your Tadasana. Feet are grounding. Legs are engaging, kneecaps lifting, neutral pelvis, belly toned, shoulders up, back, and down. All right, and then bend your knees, sweep your fingers down towards the earth, so like you're, squatting down. Go to a comfortable depth for your knees, shift your weight backward, keep your torso here, keep your lower body here, lift your torso, arms at shoulder height. Stabilize the arms in the shoulder sockets, then lift the arms a little higher if you like, turning pinkies toward each other. And sit here in your Utkatasana. Take a couple of rounds to settle into the posture, finding a comfortable place for you. And then on this next inhale, exhale out your hum. And again. One more time. Take one more inhale. Exhale, bring your hands to prayer, dive forward, extend your arms, Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Get your blocks of your chair ready. Rise up halfway until your torso is in line with your hips. Get long. Exhale, take all that length back into your fold. Use the blocks or your prop, if you're using, to step the left foot back. Bend your right knee over the ankle. So we're in our low lunge. Okay. Inhale here, lift your heart, loop the shoulders down the back, and then exhale, straighten your right leg, head to knee. And we'll do that a few times like that. Inhale, lifting your heart, finding some extension, like that, the cow back that we had. Exhale, straighten the leg, head to knee, finding flexion as well as a leg stretch. So 2 more. Inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale. And now hold the posture. So it's like a pyramid pose. See if you can let the left heel ground down. Protect the right knee, keeping it soft if you need to, but bringing it, as straight as you're able. Lift your torso up halfway until it's in line with your hips again. Get long. Use a block under your left hand if you want, so you can ground that hand down, and we're going to start to rotate to the right. So with your long spine, try to rotate from your belly, right arm to sky. And breathe. One more breath. Exhale, lower that hand down. Nice. Find that pyramid pose one more time. Maybe melt the head towards the knee. And then lift up as you bend the knee and find the low lunge again. Now we're going to come to standing. So if you wanted to stabilize yourself, you might bring your right foot over to the right a little bit more, or your left foot to the left so you have some hip width. And then feel that your legs are drawing together, forward to back and side to side. They're super stable. Right knee is over your ankle. Let your arms just dangle. And then with your strong legs, round the spine, roll up, come up with leg strength, roll up, roll up, roll up. Then when you get to the top, send your arms to the sky. And let's take a little extension here in our Virabhadrasana 1. So lift your heart, maybe lift your arms. Woo, I started to wobble. And then if you want to practice your Pratyahara by closing your eyes. Notice how this changes the posture. But see if you can create a little separation, a little space between your reaction, choosing how to react. Just, kind of come to it with more of a creativity, curiosity, exploring how it feels to practice with our eyes closed. And then come back to neutral. Good job. Bring your hands to prayer. Good. Okay, we're going to take a twist here. So keep your legs where they are. Find the rotation from your belly. I'm going to come forward for a moment. Press your palms together. Use this leverage of your wrists, your palms at heart height, elbows at heart height, strong press to rotate to your right. And that's it. Just stay there. Those who are familiar with this, want a challenge, of course, you can start to hinge forward. Bring that left elbow to the outside of the knee for your prayer balancing twist. Keep lengthening, everybody, no matter where you are, lengthening through the torso. And find the rotation from the belly. And so if you're rotating your gaze, you're looking to your right or up to the sky, not back towards your left foot, right? Not towards your right hip. Look forward or up, not back. Take one more breath. And then de-rotate, come back up to center, arms up to the sky. Good job. All right, let's take a diagonal warrior now. So hinge forward, your arms are going to go back sideways. Hinge forward, your arms are in line with your ears. This takes a lot of leg and core strength to stay here. So once again, come back to your breath. Try to create that separation from your body, from the body or the mind squawking about this posture, and then rise back up, okay? We'll do that one more time, or we'll float into our warrior 3 posture. So up to you, okay? So come forward, leg strength, arm strength. You can stay here, or you can send your arms back behind you into sort of airplane arms. Then you can start to shift your weight into your front leg and then pick up the back leg. Now see if you can keep that left hip from rolling open, square it down. Lift the heel, lengthen from crown of head. And then if you want, you can bend the standing leg and then straighten it. Woo. And then bend the standing leg and straighten it. One more time, bend the standing leg and straighten it, and then bend it and lower your hands onto the earth. Lower the lifted leg. Walk your hands to the inside of the right foot, and then you can straighten that leg, and we're coming into a sort of a prasarita. All right, and then let's turn our heels in slightly and our toes out. And then you can bend the right knee and walk your hands over to the right. You can walk your hands to the midline and then bring them over to the left. And go back and forth like this into our side lunge. Now, if I was modified, I might be up here and my hands are on my thighs. Right? So this is good. My hands could be on a chair out in front of me, in the middle, and then I'd still be able to go side to side. All right, so now the next time we go to the right, let's stay here. So you might be here, or you might be here. And let's add a twist again. Let's add another twist. So you could be here. I'm gonna show it up high for starters. You might have your hands on your forearm, kind of like we do with side angle. And then you can lengthen the torso and start to spin your torso forward. Maybe the heart more up to the sky. Left arm could rest by the side on the hip or go up as well. If I was down lower, I would have my right hand onto the earth or a block to the inside of my foot and do my twist. I may be all the way down with my hand on the earth, even reaching a little farther forward and spinning my heart open. So see what feels comfortable for you. Some of you may be able to bind a little bit by bringing the hands behind the back. Good. Take another breath. And then let's lower the hand, come out of that twist, lift back up. Let's go to the other side. Same thing. We'll twist to the other side. So again, you're up here. You know, maybe you didn't even go down. You kind of walked yourself on your blocks or your chair. Maybe you're here for your twist, or maybe you're a little lower. So take a couple of breaths into your twist. And those who are down a little lower, you might want to explore what it feels like to have the heel lift or stay down. Ultimately, we want to try to be that way in the posture. So maybe try a variation where your heel stays down and only go as low into the rotation as or into your squat as you're able to with your heel down. And then yogis, let's come back to center. Start to rise up, hands back to the midline. You can keep your feet pointing parallel, your toes parallel or slightly in. You know, ground through the outside edges of your feet. Try to keep the hips in line with your knees, and then walk your hands as far forward as they can. Plant your hands down onto the earth, and then send your hips back up to the sky and take a wide-legged downward facing dog. And again, this could be done with my hands on blocks or on a chair. And keep sending the hips to the sky, creating length. In fact, as your hands ground down, see if you can spin your inner armpits or your inner arms up towards the sky so the shoulders draw apart and down the back. Inhale and exhale it out with a hum. One more like that. Inhale. Then, on our next inhale, we'll start to heel toe our feet back together until they're about hips distance apart. Now you can use your blocks here if you like, because we're going to do a balance posture and a strengthener for our outer hips. So my hands are grounded, good, so that you can take your wide-legged forward fold. It's sort of a forward fold with your legs a little wider than normal. And then shift the weight to the left foot and lift the right leg up out to the side. Keeping the toes facing forward, strong standing leg, a lot of core strength, and lift that leg a little higher if you can. Try not to let it go backward, so keep the toes going forward. Lift the leg a little higher. Try not to list to the left. One more, and then lower that leg down. Other side, lift the leg to the side. Again, keep the toes coming forward. Lift the leg a little higher. Ground through your hands and your standing leg. Lift a little higher. And then lower it down. Now we're going to take one more squat, again, honoring the knees, only going as far as feels comfortable for you. You might separate your feet like I just did a little bit. Try to keep the heels down if you can. And then send your arms forward. So this will help you to balance, right? Keep the heels grounded, arms are reaching forward. And then as you reach forward, press your feet into the earth and rise all the way up with strong legs. Arms reach up all the way overhead and lower your arms down by your side. And come back to your breath. Maybe bring a hand on the belly and a hand on your heart and notice how you're feeling now. So now let's do that on the other side. So you'll gather your blocks. If you're using them, your chair. Feet together or hips distance apart. Connect feet to the earth, engage legs, tone belly, shoulders up, back, and down. Inhale here, exhale, squat down into our Utkatasana. Once again, lower body grounds, upper body lifts. 3 Brahmari breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Now stay in the posture for 2 more breaths and repeat the humming to yourself silently. Again, creating a little separation between your body, or your mind and body, and this posture. So we're not reacting to holding the posture for this period of time. There's some space. We're choosing how to react, and that's what we're choosing to be in the posture a little longer. 1 more breath. Exhale, hinge forward, hands down to the earth, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold into our Uttanasana 1 more time. Hands frame our feet, right leg goes back, left knee bends, low lunge. Inhale, lifting your heart, looping the shoulders down the back. Exhale, head to knee. And 4 more times like that. Flowing with your breath. Exhaling as you extend. Inhale, lifting the heart. Exhale, extending back leg 2. Warming up our legs. 2 more. Last time. And pause here. Good. Now find your posture where we can add the twist. So my back heel is grounding down. My front knee softens if I need to. I'm going to place my right hand on a block. It could be on the earth. It could be on your left leg. And then lift your torso up so that it's in line with your hip. You're getting long through your body. Tone your belly. Start to rotate to your left. Maybe send that left arm to the sky. And breathe here. Even add a Brahmari if you like. And then lower that left hand down, de-rotate out of your twist, bend the left knee. Stabilize yourself for your standing postures, which might need adding some width between your feet and walking that left leg out, right leg out. Scissor your legs together, side to side, forward to back. Dangle the arms down towards the earth. And then roll up, tucking the tailbone, rounding the spine. Strong back leg, rolling up, rolling up. When you get to the top, send your arms to the sky. And really reach your fingers upward, feeling the joy of the posture. Strong legs, lifting your heart. Maybe take a little bit of a back bend here as you shift your gaze up to the sky. And then finally, if you'd like to explore the, removing the visual sense, you can close your eyes. Notice what it feels like to practice like this. Does it heighten your awareness? Does it change anything? Does it, separating that, that information that comes from our sense organ? Much comes from our eyes. So, well, take 1 more breath and then come back to neutral. Find your neutral. Hands to prayer. Palms together. Pressing palms together at heart height. Use that leverage of your strong arms to rotate to your left. Staying high if you like. Or even having your hands on your hip or your thigh. Draw that left hip back. Strong back leg. Good. Staying here, wherever that is, or hinging forward and coming into your prayer balancing twist. And finding more length through your torso. The crown of your head draws forward. You're wringing out the belly. And maybe if you want, you can rotate your neck by looking forward or up towards the sky. Take one more breath. And then slowly unwind. Hands frame the foot. Good. And then let's rise up from here. Back up to our warrior one. And then we'll take a diagonal warrior. So keep your arms in line with your ears, even if they're wide, to honor the shoulders. Hinge forward. Feel your strong lower body, your strong core, your active arms. Your breath. Rise back up. And we'll do that one more time. So hinge forward. Hinge forward. Stay here if this feels like a good challenge. Or send your arms back behind you into airplane. And then if you like to try your warrior three, you can shift your weight to your left leg. Pick up that right leg. I'm going to move back a little bit. Good. And find the warrior three posture. Broad across your collarbones as your fingers reach back. Right toes point down. Left leg is strong. And if you want, you can bend the left leg, sort of a power squat, and then lift back up. Maybe even just bend it a little and lift back up. One more time, bend it and lift back up. And then this next time, bend it so you can lower your hands down and then get ready for our side lunges. So walk your hands over to the left side or to the midline of the body. Let's see if we were here. You're going to walk my hands to the inside of my left foot, in between my legs, walk out to our Pratyahara, that wide-legged stance with heels in and toes out, and then go back and forth into your side lunge a few times. Again, keeping your hands on your thighs or on the chair if that feels more comfortable. And the next time you go over to the right, hold it there. Hold to the right, keeping the feet grounded, that right thigh drawing back. Send your arms forward, right? Plant the hands, and then send the hips back up to the sky. We're doing our wide-legged down dog with a side lunge. Right, so keep the torso long, belly engaged, hands grounded, hips lifting, right thigh drawing away. So you're noticing where you're feeling this, right? So getting into the groin, the adductor muscles, our inner thighs, and breathe. Drawing your attention inward towards that true self, creating space between the sensations of the body and that true self. And then start to straighten that leg. Walk your hands through the midline as we prepare for that posture on the other side. So bend the left knee. Go to the depth that feels comfortable for you. Propping if that feels better. And then walk your hands forward, grounding hands, sending hips to the sky. Side lunge, down dog. One more breath. And then walk your hands back to center. Let's take one neutral wide-legged down dog. So feet are parallel or slightly pointed in. Ground down through the pinky toe sides of your feet so you feel the inner thighs engage. Walk your hands forward as far as they can go. Press the hands into the earth and then send your hips back and up towards the sky. That will hopefully help keep your hips in line with your ankles. And breathe here. Take 1 or 2 more breath cycles. And then let's lift up. Walk your hands in so that you can heel toe your feet back towards center, but keep them about hips distance apart. You know, use blocks again if you need to, or just hands on the earth. So we're in a standing forward bend, Uttanasana. This time, let's place all the weight into our right foot first as we lift our left leg out to the side. Good. Strong standing leg. Lifted leg comes forward. So we're working our abductor muscles, the outer hips, the outer thighs here. Lift a little higher. Lift them a little higher. One more. Lift a little higher. And then lower that leg down. Other side. This takes a lot of core strength to do this, too. Lift a little higher. Toes go forward. One more time. And then lower that leg down. Come into your final squat. Good. Maybe reach your arms forward. Oops. And then with your strong legs, press the earth away and rise all the way up to standing. Arms overhead. And then release your arms wide to the side, bending the elbows, hand on the belly, and a hand on your heart. And notice how you're feeling now. Take a big inhale. Exhale out with a big sigh. Big clearing breath. Inhale. And exhale it out with a sigh. And one more big inhale. And then exhale super slow. Lower your arms. Really, really slow. Slow, slow. Good job. All right. So now let's make our way down to the earth if we can. You can always do this section seated, but it'd be nice if you could be onto the earth here. So we will come into our Shavasana. We're going to make our way down to Shavasana for our final exploration of Pratyahara, the guided relaxation. So make yourself comfortable, get any props. Plant your feet on the earth. Before we go down, let's take one more, like a seated forward fold. We'll take a seated child's pose. So you can keep your knees bent, hinge forward, wrap your hands around your hamstrings, and give them a squeeze, coming inward. And breathe. Relax the shoulders. Breathe into the low back. Good. And then rise up, release the hands. Reach your hands towards your feet, and then roll down. You can use some core strength to roll down. You can use the support of the hamstrings. You can even use your hands or your elbows on the earth, and then come onto your back, keeping your knees bent for a moment. Adjust yourself on your mat. Maybe press the low back into the earth, relieving any tension in the low back. This is called constructive rest. And then let's bring one knee and the other knee in toward our chest. Give them a squeeze. Maybe massage across the back body, along the sacrum. You can even make circles with the knees. We'll go in the other direction. You can even let the legs move separately. And then bring any movement to a close. Give those legs a big squeeze. Even peel your head towards your knees towards your head, sort of like a supine child's pose. And then lower your head down, release one leg, and then the other. And then arms by your sides. Take a moment to check in and notice how you're feeling, and if you need to make some adjustments to make yourself more comfortable. You can bring a blanket or your blocks underneath your hamstrings. You can put on a layer, adjust your garments. Just do whatever you can to make yourself more comfortable here. Good. Inhale and exhale. Sense the axis from the crown of your head to your pelvis. Just feel that length. Allow your legs to roll open. Your arms by your sides. Spin your palms up towards the sky. Notice your back body on the floor. Relax your lower back to the floor. And watch your body settle into stillness. Watch your mind settle. And stay present with this quieting of the body. Bring your awareness to your navel and feel the movements of your breath at your navel center. Let go of any holding. Letting the breath be subtle. I'm feeling the circular current of the breath. Feel its movement at the navel and notice as it connects to your nose. Feel that current of breath in your nose. Soften the muscles of your face, your brow, the cheeks, your mouth. Draw your attention deeper now and soften your eyes. Let them settle back into your skull. Soften your nose and your inner ears, the root of your tongue, your brain. Feel the base of your skull as it attaches to the base of the neck. Soften the front of your throat. Soften that little hollow in your throat. Soften your shoulders, your arms, your wrists, your fingers. Draw your attention to your fingertips and rest your attention there for a moment. Breathe in through your fingertips. And then draw your attention back through your arms, up into your shoulders, into your throat, into your chest, and your heart and lungs. Rest your attention in the center of your chest, returning your awareness back to the breath. Now focus your attention on the solar plexus and the sides of your ribs, your low back. Feel this region as the origin of your breath. Move your awareness into the belly, all your organs, into the pelvis and the sacral spine, your buttocks. Send your breath to all these areas and let it nurture them. Bring your awareness into your hips, your thighs. Allow them to become heavier and settle into the floor. Soften your thighs, your knees, your calves, your toes. Bring your awareness to the tips of your toes, as if you're breathing into your toes. And then bring your awareness back up your legs, through your calves, your knees, your thighs, your hips, to your pelvis, and back to the navel center. Feeling your back body, your back ribs spreading open. Breathe now into your sternum, your shoulder blades, your collarbones. Bring the attention back to the hollow of your throat. And then bring it up to the eyebrow center, the Ajna chakra. Your third eye, and become aware of the entire inner space of your being. And abide there for these next few moments. Feeling your whole body, a pulsation of breath, pulsation of energy. The breath is all around you, supporting and nourishing your entire being. Rest in that awareness and that current of energy. Now allow your breath to deepen. Maybe part your jaw, give it a wiggle. Rock your head from side to side. Bring movement to fingers and toes, maybe wrists and ankles. Sweep your arms overhead, taking a big stretch. Exhale and release. Bring your arms by your sides, giving your knees a squeeze or simply rolling over to right side. And then use the right elbow and the left hand to sit up slowly and mindfully, coming back to a comfortable seat. Grounding through sits bones, lengthening through the torso up to the crown of the head. And then when you're ready, we can draw our hands together at heart center once again. Dropping our head into our heart, into that space where the true self resides. We'll lift our gaze and seal our practice by joining our voices with the sound of Om. The divine light in me honors the divine light in you. Namaste. Thanks, everyone.